just heard Crawl Out Through the Fallout. So, there are some rumors out there in the Commonwealth that I have heard. You know the one about the railroad? A group that actually helps. They help synths who want to escape the Institute? Yeah? Well, maybe it's not just a rumor. I mean, it is as far as I know, of course. I mean, they may actually. It sounds kind of crazy, if you ask me. And if it were real, it'd be super dangerous, I bet. I think it's way safer to just sit here and play music.
Why do these objects keep moving?
Because I forget. Here's music. Hey, how about a song by the Ink Spots, maybe? This one is, it's called It's All Over But the Crying.
Enough. You hit like a rad roach! You humans made us! Now suffer for your arrogance!
That's how we do things around here.
That was Anything Goes by Cole Porter. That was Anything Went. No? Stupid. So the Minutemen are out there doing things in the Commonwealth. What kind of things, you ask? Well, I will tell you. I have heard that they have taken over the castle, which I guess was theirs a long time ago, but hasn't been for a while. It had been full of fish, or monsters, or monster fish, maybe. I don't know. Not relevant. The Minutemen are there now. That's good for them. And I guess for everyone else too. So, yeah. How about some music? This is Johnny Mercer singing about personality. If you got it, you should appreciate it, because it's not necessarily common. Johnny Mercer.
yeah! Think you can hide? Tired yet?
Find anything useful on him?
Hostile target identified.
That's it. Keep running.
constabulary? What do we call it now? Soldiers from the Brotherhood of Steel were spotted in the Commonwealth. Sounds like they were, well, they were kind of in trouble at the Cambridge police station. They were in but the Vault Dwellers showed up and gave them a hand. Or a gun. Or the Vault Dweller helped them, is what I'm trying to say. Guess they'll probably be on their way soon then. Right?
Oh, we're gonna die! Oh!
This one's called Way Back Home.
Look alive.
Need something? Take this. You're gonna need it.
I need you to get out of your power armor.
No problem. Yeah, what is it?
Wait there.
Okay, just give me a shout when you need me. All right.
Hey,
What do you want?
Hiding? From me? Not even possible. What the? That's nothing. Everything's starting to sound like Ghostbusters.
Thanks for your help fighting them off.
That was the 5 stars. All 5 of them. Get it? Because it's, funny? Sort of? No. No. Okay. Not really. Hey, how about a bit of good news? If you know, haven't already seen it, which I did, so I know it's true, and not just something I overheard. Nick Valentine is back in town. He was gone for a while. Some people, who are totally not me, thought that... Well, they thought he might be dead, or destroyed, whatever. Glad you're back, Nick. Even though we never really talked. Ever. Wynoni Harris had a grandma that gambled, I guess, so he wrote a song about it. And I'm not just talking about it, I intend to play it. So, here it is.
Please, just... I need to be alone right now.
You know what? Since we talked, I'm feeling swell. Look at the two of us, here in Sanctuary. Prepared for the future.
What's going on?
Huh?
Carla.
Back again? Time to do business?
I'll take a look, sure.
Always happy to make a...
Damn rain is soaking right through me clothes. What I wouldn't give for a good stiff drink.
Hey,
Ready to head back out?
that depends. How are you feeling?
Are you kidding? Now that you're back, I'm feeling better than ever. When you're ready to go, I'll be right behind you.
Not now.
Well, make up your mind.
Huh? Yeah,
Carla.
you again. Here to trade?
I'll take a look, sure.
Always happy.
Uh-huh.
Come on, just leave it. This looks promising. Unless you're suddenly in the electric chunk, you might want to skip this. Let's get the show on the road.
Yes?
Lost track of how many blisters I got.
Wasn't sure I'd see you again. You managed to get what you need?
I have the code.
Suppose I shouldn't be surprised. You did get rid of Kellogg after all. Not too much of a leap to take down a Courser. How'd you manage to get it decoded?
The railroad helped me.
Oh God, those kooks. I would have expected they'd be too busy trying to liberate vending machines, or setting computer terminals free, or... Sorry. They just have something of a reputation. You're not the only one who's been busy. I did the best I could. From memory and things I've overheard through the years. Came up with some schematics for you. Wasn't easy. These hands are ridiculous. Fine motor skills have gone to shit. Here's the symbol explanation. You need to build a device that will hijack the signal the Institute uses to teleport coursers, and send you instead. You know the craziest part of the design? That classical music station, that's the carrier signal for the relay. All the data's on harmonic frequencies. You've been hearing it all along. I want to be clear that this isn't my area of expertise. I was bioscience, not engineering or advanced systems or anything.
Well, they were kind of in trouble.
Bioscience? Advanced systems?
Divisions within the Institute. Specialized groups work.
Sure.
But if you can build this device and make you... Can you? I mean, can you build it? You have people that can help. This is a lot.
I got it covered.
Good, good. Because you've got to make it in there. And don't you forget our agreement. I've helped you as it's my only hope for ever being normal. So you find it. Now go on. Take these and get to work. You do whatever it...
That smells absolutely terrible.
The only thing I'm looking for while we're here is one of those funny-looking hats.
Voice of the Minutemen. It's 12 noon. All quiet here. Stay tuned for Minutemen alerts.
What do you need, General?
I have plans here to build a signal interceptor that can get me inside the Institute.
The Institute? Why in the world would you want to mess around with them?
They kidnapped my son.
Damn. That's some bad business. Even for them. We'll give you whatever help we can. Don't worry about that. Now, assuming you could build this thing, what exactly does it do?
Did you know the Institute has a teleporter? They call it the molecular relay.
Teleportation? For real? Wow. That would explain a lot about how the Institute manages to operate. If anyone can make heads or tails of those plans, it'd be Sturgis. I haven't found anything yet that he couldn't build or fix. I'll let you know if I hear of any settlements that need our help. In the meantime, make sure to offer help to anyone that needs it. That can only help our cause.
for updates.
Useful on him?
Hey.
What's up? Let's see what you got.
Good afternoon. You're tuned to Radio Freedom, broadcasting across the Commonwealth. All's quiet across the Commonwealth. Stay safe out there.
My old man
thought you
taught
might
me
be able
that
to
duct
figure
tape
out
could
these
fix
plans
anything.
for me.
I don't think he was talking about bullet holes. Sure thing. Let's see what you've got.
Do you think you can build this?
Wow. What a mess. Looks like, encrypted RF transmissions. Okay, so that gets routed through... What the hell? Teleportation. This is some pretty crazy shit. You sure it's for real?
It's real. I got it from an ex-Institute scientist.
Seriously? I didn't know you could be an ex-Institute anything and still be breathing. Anyway, the eggheads never think about the nuts and bolts of actually making something work. But, looks like it's all here. Yeah, I'm gonna need some time to study this thing. The handwriting's pretty hard to make out. But, you can get started on what he calls a stabilized reflector platform. It'll need some pretty high-grade metals, but it's basically not that different than the lining of a jet engine or something like that.
Can you give me a list of what I'll need to build this platform?
Yeah, sure. Here's a list of what you'll need for the first piece. I'm pretty sure we've got all that at Sanctuary, if you want to build it there. While you're working on that, I'll get busy figuring out how to actually build the rest of this thing.
Keep in mind, I can already see this is gonna take a crazy amount of juice. Like if you had a spare nuclear reactor handy, we could probably use it. And it's going to be big. So find a nice open building site with lots of power available.
Smith, everybody. Ray Smith. Well, here's a, I guess...
How's it going? Did you find a good spot to build your signal interceptor?
I heard that a group of soldiers...
Yeah, ready to build the rest of it.
Good. I think I got a handle on this crazy contraption. At least as much as I can tell. Well, until we actually try to build it, here's a list of 3 things that may be harder to find. I think I'll be able to pull together everything else we're gonna need.
I'll meet you over at the building site and see if we can actually make this thing work.
Thanks, Sturgis. I'll get right on this.
Good deal.
One thing to keep in mind while you're building this, it all needs to be wired together so all the pieces can talk to each other.
I'll see you over at the building site. Good luck.
Oh, we're gonna die! Oh!
I'm not seeing that. He's good, right? Can't go home. That can go.
Sturgis.
Everything looks good on my end. You ready to see if this thing actually works?
Shouldn't we test it first?
I wish we could, but we've only got the one frequency code. There's no way to test it without actually jacking into the Institute signal. And as soon as we do that, we've used our one and only chance. As soon as the Institute figures out what we did, and I gotta believe those brainiacs won't be caught napping twice, that code we've got is useless.
Let's do this.
You sure? Okay. Your part is simple. Just step onto the platform. I'll start scanning for an Institute signal to lock onto. Then, I fire her up and we see what happens. I'm ready when you are. Okay, hold real still. I don't want any corruption of the molecular beam. By the way, I figured this was a golden opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute and what they're up to. Yeah, this holotape's all set with a program that will scan their network and download anything it finds. Uh-oh. Yeah, we better hurry. And don't worry about that tubing wiggling around. It's, just there for decoration. Okay. Scanning for the Institute signal. Tracking RF. And... got it. Hold on to your butt.
That was Bob Crosby. So, there's this thing I heard about. I'm not even really sure what to say. There are stories about, well, it's some big contraption that's being built out there in the Commonwealth. No one that's mentioned it, they don't know what it does. Not for sure. This next part, well, I mean, it's just people talking, you know? It doesn't make it true. Not necessarily. But it's been said, well, it has something to do with the Institute. Trying to blow it up. Make it disappear. There aren't really any details. If I were you, and I saw this thing, well, you know, I'd run the other way. Into each life, rain must fall. Hex Beneke, folks. This is Diamond City Radio, and I'm, it's me, Travis. Anyway, Rocket 69 is next. And, I mean... Kinda makes... That last song. Okay. Well, here's an unexpected bit of news. I heard that a group of soldiers, soldiers? Constabulary? What are we calling them now? Soldiers from the Brotherhood of Steel were spotted in the Commonwealth. Sounds like they were, well, they were kind of in trouble at the Cambridge police station. They were in pretty bad shape for a while. But then those vault dwellers showed up and gave them a hand. Or a gun. So the vault dweller helped them, is what I'm trying to say. Guess they'll probably be on their way soon then. Right? Oh, we're gonna die! Oh. Next is, I don't want to set the world on fire by its stinking spots. You just heard Fallout through the Fallout. Well, here's a, I guess it's a unexpected bit of news. I heard that a group of soldiers, is it knights? Soldiers? Can stop it. Call them now. Soldiers from the Brotherhood of Steel were spotted in the Commonwealth. Sounds like they were, well, they were kind of at the Cambridge police station. Pretty much here for a while. But those vault dwellers showed up. And gave them a hand. Or a gun. Or something. The vault dweller helped them, is what I'm trying to say. Guess they'll probably be on their way soon then. Right?
Oh, we're gonna die! Oh!
Orange Colored Sky by Nat King Cole. You love this one, right? It's a real classic. Sure.
Hello. I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I'm known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator. I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Skeeter Davis, a name I still find confusing.
Would need the key. Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
There are some rumors out there in the Commonwealth that I have heard. You know the one about the railroad?
Oh my God.
That actually helps.
It's really you.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Sean.
Well,
it's me.
Maybe it's not just a rumor. I mean, it is as far as
I'm your dad.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
It sounds
yes,
crazy.
It's me, your dad. I'm here, Sean.
What's going on? Father? Father!
Super dangerous, I bet.
Shh. It'll be okay, Sean. I'm here now.
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here. Help me!
Through these objects!
Please, Sean. I'm your father. Talk to me. Just open the door.
Father? Father, help me! He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
So, right, okay. Let's do a song by the Three Sons.
Sure.
Because, well, there's three sons,
S923,
won't be
recall
dead soon.
code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Father? That's your name? Your title?
Father is my unofficial title. It's what I've come to mean to the people of the Institute, just as you mean to your son, to Sean.
I'll make this very simple. Where is my son?
He's here, in the Institute. Closer than you think. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
It's really you. After all this time.
Yes. It's true. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality. And here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
It wasn't right, what they did. Taking you from me like that.
To you, that would certainly seem true. But to the Institute, it made all the sense in the world. At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
Human synths? Really?
Human-like synths. A great distinction. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
Sean. It's really you.
It really is. I know you must have questions. Please,
anything I can do to help you understand.
Your mother. She never got to see you grow up.
Yes. What happened to her was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems her death was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage.
Collateral damage?
What would you have me say?
Collateral damage?
I forget that it's been such a short time for you. I don't have any direct memories. And I've had my entire life to cope with the loss. Has it always been easy? Of course not. But I've done my best to move on and live my life. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
I don't expect you to understand or agree with the decision.
You knew the man was a...
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept the collateral damage to a minimum. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades at the Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
They need your help, Sean. It's rough up there, to say the least.
Oh, we've tried that. Surprised? The Institute once tried to help create a stabilized Commonwealth government. It ended in bickering, infighting. It was a disaster. No. We look after our own now. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
he might be dead.
Yes, that's what I want.
I know. I know you've been through so much. I'm pleased to see it has not impaired your judgment. Forgive me.
Here's 60-Minute Man.
I'd assume that after everything I'm sure you've seen above ground, you would be more than a bit biased against us. There is much to be done. You'll need time to acclimate yourself, a chance to become acquainted with our procedures.
Is all that really necessary? What's there to learn?
For now, it is enough that you understand that the Institute really is devoted to the betterment of humanity. The Institute is now your home, as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ao in SRB, Dr. Holdren in Bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
Sean, about this synth.
You mean the child? It's a fascinating project, really. There are issues to be solved, of course, but we've made remarkable progress.
It seems like a strange choice. On more than one level.
I can understand how it might seem that way. It is something new. New discoveries are always welcome. I'll make sure it's brought back online in the near future. You'll have an opportunity to interact with him further. But I'll admit I'm curious. As a parent looking for a child, looking for the younger version of me, what do you think? Do you think you could love him? Like you would a real boy?
I don't need a synth. I found the real Sean.
Yes, but not the Sean you were looking for. In some ways, the synth is far closer to what you expected. I wouldn't claim to know everything you're feeling, but if in some small way the boy's presence can help, I hope you'll keep an open mind.
Sean.
I couldn't be more proud of what we've achieved.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive servo.
That's the third primary drive breakdown this month. As far as I'm concerned, the phase-out on these older models can't come soon enough.
Oh, I don't know. Most of them have lasted long past their projected lifespans. If you ask me, they were built pretty well.
I can't argue with that. Even so, I'm ready to see the full Gen 3 roll out.
There we go. All set. Unit, you can return to duty.
Thanks again.
Of course. We're all looking forward to working with you.
Greetings. As the Institute's requisition vendor, I can provide supplies for your missions on the surface. How may I assist you today?
What can I requisition?
I have access to a modest selection of arms, armor, and other items approved for use in field missions.
I'll take a look, sure.
Requisition clearance granted. How may I help you?
Let's see what you got.
to access my stock of supplies.
Let's see what you got.
Bob Crosby there. That's a good one, huh? Thank you, Bob. So, there's this thing I heard about. I'm not even really sure what to say. There are stories about, well, it's some big contraption that's being built out there in the Commonwealth. No one that's mentioned it, they don't know what it does. Not for sure. This next part, well, I mean, it's just people talking, you know. It doesn't make it true. Not necessarily. But it's been said.
I have a variety of items that should prove useful in your surface missions.
Something to do with the Institute. Trying to blow it up. Or make it disappear or something. There aren't really any details. If I were you and I saw this thing, well, you better believe that, you know, I'd run the other way.
Here's Frankie Carl with a song that, frankly, sounds a little too good to be true. I'm not saying he was embellishing, well, no, okay, I guess I am saying that. Never mind. Here's one more tomorrow.
Remember to keep unnecessary power consumption.
You're here. Glad you made it.
Welcome to the Institute, sir.
Quentin is such a liar. How'd he know what the surface is like? He's never been up there.
he can hide in his office, does he? Well, you can tell him that I intend to speak to Father about these unannounced security sweeps of yours. Ransacking my middle of the night is totally unacceptable.
I'll pass along your message, Doctor.
See that you do.
Doc.
Welcome. Welcome. It is so good to meet you. I truly hope you'll come to think of the Institute as your home.
It'll take some time, but I could learn to like it here.
I'm so glad to hear you say so, and promise I'll work hard to make sure that you do. You should know that many of us consider it a great honor to have you here.
Greetings, sir.
I am seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock some heads
Hello?
together.
What now?
They're dragging their feet
Be
on the
careful
targeting
wearing
package
that.
upgrades I asked for.
You might be mistaken
Maybe I should take
for
some
a brotherhood
courses
of
with
steel soldier.
Send a message.
Please don't.
Mankind.
There's enough friction as
redefined.
it is between
Excuse
us
me, Doctor.
and pretty much all the
So.
other departments.
Here you are. Justin Ayo, Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity. I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there? Hello?
Why? Don't you try?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider. The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. There's little precedent for this situation, so it's only natural to take extra precautions, It's nothing personal, I assure you. Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the Synth Retention Bureau. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
I'm sure it's best for everyone if the synths remain here.
Certainly. We can't allow sophisticated Institute technology to fall into the wrong hands. The results could be disastrous. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered one already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
I'm no stranger to combat.
Even so, a Courser should be more than a match for any single combatant. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run.
That last song.
As if we don't have problems. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back.
You mentioned that coursers undergo...
The SRB constantly monitors our Gen 3 synth population, looking for specific traits. Those who show tenacity, fearlessness, and independence undergo a rigorous training regimen. We teach them armed and unarmed combat, investigative techniques, psychology, and mechanical skills. Those who pass a final evaluation become coursers. The rest have their memories wiped and return to their former duties.
A long time ago, but hasn't been for a while. It had been full of fish or monsters.
Like any machine, a synth can malfunction. Just wish it didn't happen.
I don't know. Not relevant. The Minutemen are there now. That's good.